Welcome to the Pink Styles channel. I couldn't stand it during the worst period. When I stood on the court, I would be afraid. Afraid of what? For example, the sounds around me, I had already doubted myself. After returning to Nanjing, Meng took 2 straight points to win the women's singles title in the table tennis event at the 2024 Paris Olympics, falling into a deep slump and then returning to the peak in 2024. What do you think this experience taught you? Facing yourself, the 2020 Tokyo Olympic champion title. That was probably the highest point in your first 26 years. Can we say that, yes, it felt like a dream? An Olympic champion title is incomparable to any other competition. This kind of happiness, this joy, it was like, oh my God, is this a dream? Did I actually win this champion title? 10-9, Chen Meng to serve and attack. Chen Meng wins. But life is full of ups and downs. You can't predict it. You said the next 2 or 3 years were your slump. Your injury, the joint cyst, at that time, it was because a very large lump grew on my shoulder, on the bone joint. Then the whole thing was infected. It was already rotten. That area had become a very large hole. The 2cm doctor told me there were 30 milliliters of pus. But that time, I knew I had a second match. Standing on the court is a battlefield. There are no excuses. It has a cruel aspect. Sometimes, people who didn't understand the situation would say some unpleasant things. The moment I won the Olympic gold medal, the voices around me should have been words of encouragement or praise. But actually, it wasn't like that. You previously said you uninstalled social media apps, right? Basically, yes. I couldn't stand it during the worst period. When I was actually standing on the court, I would be afraid. Afraid of what? For example, the sounds around me. So when I was in the match at that time, I felt that maybe only winning would be enough. But in competitive sports, who can win every day? In your life before, maybe you hadn't specifically encountered such public criticism. Mixed together, what was that phase like? All of this had never happened, never been faced before, so I also felt the pressure. It was very immense. What was the lowest point like? I felt like I had already had doubts about myself. Even if you've won an Olympic champion title, as long as you compete, you still want to win, right? Who doesn't want to be the champion? Maybe when you lose one match, you don't care much. When you lose 2 matches, you feel, it's still okay. Still bearable. 3 matches, losing a 4th match, not winning the title. You start to doubt yourself. Have you cried about this? There were times I was very sad, but more often, I would give myself some time alone. The racket is in my hands. As long as I do my best and achieve this victory, then what you all say doesn't matter. That sentence is very true. What does it matter? But doing it is indeed more difficult, especially in the last 2 years. One is my own injury, which I needed to overcome. I also needed to do rehabilitation training. While stabilizing myself, I also had to improve my physical fitness, a combination of speed and strength. So, it had to be integrated with your specialized sport. Was there a specific time point when that state changed? Maybe during the World Team Championships, when facing a 15-year-old on the opposite side. If I didn't win that match, then I felt that for the team match, I would be the sinner, especially as the Olympics approached. You definitely wouldn't want to lose again. When you won the 2024 Olympic champion title, how did your mood compare to the last time? The happiness was the same, but the difference was perhaps being more composed. All these hardships, looking back now, feel worth it. The fact that you were finally able to pull through and able to persevere. I feel that the result itself is actually not the most important thing. What do you think this experience taught you? Facing yourself. Most people are not very capable of doing that, right? Truly confronting your own issues. What was the most important thing in doing that? That unwillingness to lose spirit. I think it's still the firmness in my heart. I wanted to heal my injury. Let it rest for a bit. Okay? You can't sit for long. I can't maintain one posture for too long. They told me yours was broken. I had cracks on both sides that broke open. I must rely on muscle support. But when you do this kind of repetitive training, this back and forth rotation, it's actually constantly irritating it. My muscles. If they become fatigued or can't support it feels like it's broken. It's hard for people to imagine, because the intensity of table tennis movement isn't that high. How did a bone crack? Because I started playing this sport when I was very young, and I trained a lot when I was little. The bones might not have grown to be completely closed or very good. I don't know why I was so down that I wanted to be losing to it out here all year round. It's alright. That's what I'm trying to surprise in table. The venue now, I feel the temperature is very good and warm, but it wasn't like this when I was little, and I remember the floor was all concrete. On New Year's Eve, I could only go home late to have the New Year's dinner. My grandpa was actually very unhappy because he felt that a child so young, who should be having a childhood, came home so late. After eating for a while, I would fall asleep. I would fall asleep while sitting. When I was little, when I wasn't obedient, my mom would tell me, "If you don't listen today, I won't take you to play table tennis," and I would behave. I really liked it. I was diligent from a young age. When you train, sometimes it's very mechanical, more tedious than we imagine. I think every time I try to update a new technique, I need to constantly try and remember the feeling. I actually have to practice repeatedly, including the muscle memory. How long does it take to form what you call muscle memory? Probably thousands of times. Roughly. If we talk about a technique that takes a long time to practice, it should be the backhand flick. This technique, to outsiders, might just seem like a very small movement or technical change. I think learning it actually isn't difficult. It's easy, but how to utilize or apply this technique well in a match, how to refine it. Also, before I fall asleep, if I have watched technical videos, it's not easy to fall asleep. The images will constantly repeat in my mind. Sometimes after falling asleep, I will subconsciously swing the backhand motion, swing the forehand motion. It took about half a year to a year's time, just constantly and repeatedly practicing this way. By the time of the Paris Olympics, I felt I could truly say, "Oh, this technique is completely mastered." After 3 days, Chen Meng took 2 straight points to win the women's singles title in the table tennis event at the 2024 Paris Olympics. They say the so-called deep users of table tennis on Douyin are close to 100 million. Deep, meaning they repeatedly search, repeatedly watch. Whoa, that number is very large. If we can, because of us, influence or reach more people to participate in sports, that is actually a very happy thing. Everyone, have you thought about life after retirement? I actually want to try a lot of things I haven't tried before. Tennis, skiing, skateboarding, and the currently popular pickleball. Quite a lot. Exercise can make people secrete a lot of dopamine, which truly makes people happy. To make my life richer, I suppose. Is the table tennis school a part of that? Yes. I hope that from here, more children can realize their dreams. Do you think the you after 30 will be different from the previous 30 years? Age. I don't think I particularly care about it, because I feel that no matter how old a woman is, she will always have that girlish feeling in her heart, that girl's dream, especially for an athlete. The state and the mental age have always been very youthful and vibrant. The different aspect is that maybe my perspective on issues will be more multifaceted, more mature,